this was a Freightliner that burnt up, but they're all real similar. Oh. I'll get it later. Anyways, all semi-trucks are designed close to the same specs. They use a relay, and the electrical systems can fail at any time. If the relay gets stuck on and it gets hot in the panel, it could happen as we're sitting here. A truck could start in a matter of an hour. She could be poof.
It took you 38 years to build this business, and it cost you something too. Something you can't afford to lose.
It was a pretty eerie feeling when you come into a place that you built and it's half gone.
This is the story of Tim's Body Shop and the silver lining. The night of June 15th was a night like any other, but not for Tim Merkl. That night, a spark caused a flame caused a fire, and a lifetime investment went up in smoke.
I could see all the fire trucks, smoke rolling out of the entire building, and it's like, well, what could have happened? We didn't have anything when I left that was left on or plugged in. I do a little walk around and make sure the doors are locked, or turn our security on until I finally leave at night, which was usually 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yet by the start of business the next morning, his claim had already been started, and so the rebuilding could begin.
Not a good feeling when I did my walk around. It was more in disbelief and kind of, what are we going to do next? And it was call my insurance agent, which I always don't want to make that call, but got through, reported it, and don't ask me how they had got the adjuster down here that night, but he actually did show up and again gave you that kind of support that, okay, we're here, let's see what's got to happen, and we kind of started going through the rubbish and pretty much myself. I think the adjuster left probably at 11:30 or 12 o'clock.
Because his independent insurance agent and the claims adjuster met with Tim in the middle of the night, the agent started the claim at 3 a.m., and by 7:45 the next morning, the process was already underway.
Why is speed important? Because the faster you can get it put back together, the less impact it's going to have on their business. And not only that, but it speaks volumes of the company that you're representing and your agency. If you can help them get back on their feet, basically with minimal impact, you've done your job and they're back in business.
Now, what kind of business insurance would burn the midnight oil like this? The kind that understands the silver lining. West Bend. Because the worst brings out our best.
They did an excellent job. They went above and beyond what they had to. The company is phenomenal. Everybody that I've worked with, all the way from underwriting to claims handling, is outstanding in their own right. So they make my job easier. If it all comes back to me at the end of the day. If they're not doing their job, then I'm the guy who is putting that company's name out there and saying, I stand for this company, you can trust this company. If they don't do that, it puts me in a hard spot. So working with good people makes my job a lot easier. West Bend makes me look good.
You're as fair as anybody could be. You'd be as fair as your in-laws treating on any situation, or your neighbor. They were very good. Yep, at the end there was a silver lining, and I respect my insurance company, and I think they respect me.